quietly putting it out into the real estate world that really they want to get rid of this mansion.
They cannot afford that home.
So Harry has left. He's leaving California to be more of a working royal. They're not being slick. We see what they're doing.
Meghan Markle built Montecito to look like the final proof that walking away from royal life had worked. The mansion, the privacy, the celebrity zip code, the California sunshine, all of it was supposed to scream that she and Prince Harry had traded palace restrictions for something bigger, richer, and more glamorous. But suddenly, that picture is starting to look painfully awkward.
So is it really a coincidence that as Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are quietly trying to hawk their Montecito home without putting it on the market and going through the embarrassment of having to do that, we learned Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, two of their sworn Hollywood enemies, could be looking to buy in the area.
Because while questions keep circling around the future of Harry and Meghan's Montecito home, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are reportedly looking at property in the very same area. And for Meghan, the timing could hardly be worse. This is not simply a story about two famous couples possibly becoming neighbors. The comparison is almost impossible to ignore. Meghan spent years presenting Montecito as the center of the new Sussex world.
Taylor's in her mid-30s. She's always wanted to be a mom. They are looking for a place where they can raise their family, have kids, and good schools all around. And, Montecito does fit that bill. It is private. A lot of billionaires are there. Security is always around. If it's not yours, it's someone else's. And no high crime rate. The schools are excellent. So I could see why they would want to move there.
Now, one of the most powerful celebrities in America may be considering that same neighborhood. At the exact moment, people are asking whether the Sussexes themselves will remain there for the long haul. Taylor and Travis are newlyweds, married on July 3. And that makes their reported property search even more interesting. They would not simply be shopping for another random celebrity house. They are now building a shared married life. And Montecito offers nearly everything people at their level could want.
This word, I think, could sum up quite a lot of what the Sussexes are currently going through. Unsussexful. You get it?
Enormous gated estates, quiet roads, ocean views, privacy, and a neighborhood already packed with wealth. Oprah Winfrey lives there. Other major names have chosen the area because they can disappear behind gates without giving up luxury. So Taylor and Travis looking there is not difficult to understand. But for Meghan, the story becomes uncomfortable for a completely different reason.
There certainly wouldn't be any little as-ever barbecues between those two couples.
Before we continue, one quick thing. One thing I've realized is that most families don't have their important information organized in one place. That's exactly why I recommend the Family Vault, a simple, printable, and fillable organizer where you can keep everything from important documents and insurance to medical information, passwords. You'll find the link in the description, or you can simply scan the QR code on your screen. Now let's get back to today's story. Taylor Swift is not just another A-lister who could move down the road. She is someone Meghan reportedly tried very hard to bring into her own celebrity orbit, and it never turned into the friendship Meghan seemed to be reaching for. That is what makes this possible Montecito move so deliciously awkward.
Trying to sort of suggest, oh, look, our kitchen has been updated, even though nothing has really changed. And Nancy Sidley pointed out, my girl Ristine Dollface was right. Why would this be in a realtor magazine? And there is the headline on realtor.com. Meghan Markle starts her 45th birthday with a pajama party around the kitchen of $14.7 million Montecito mansion. I mean, there's no way that they need to write about it on a website like that, P. Diner, unless the house is going to be coming up for sale.
Taylor would not need Meghan for anything. No introduction to the neighborhood, no royal connection, no invitation into some exclusive California circle. She could arrive with her own enormous fame, her own relationships, and her own influence already fully intact. And Taylor already knows Montecito. When Selena Gomez married Benny Blanco, Taylor reportedly stayed at the Rosewood Miramar in Montecito during the wedding weekend.
Even if Taylor and Travis moved to Montecito, they still won't give Harry and Meghan the time of day. And Harry and Meghan spare, arguing, please don't insult Taylor and Travis by associating them in any way with the two grifters. Thank you.
She experienced the exact thing that draws wealthy celebrities to the area. Privacy without isolation, luxury without having to turn every movement into a spectacle. So if Taylor and Travis eventually decide they want a California base outside Los Angeles, Montecito would hardly be a strange choice. In fact, it would make perfect sense. And because they are reportedly browsing rather than being publicly tied to one specific listing, the story could change quickly if the right estate appears. At this level, buyers do not need to announce every viewing or every conversation.
The good news is Lily and Archie are too old to ever go to school with their children, so they wouldn't have to run into each other at, I don't know, a bake sale or a PTA event.
That makes the whole thing even more intriguing. A major move could be developing quietly, while the Sussex mansion remains surrounded by questions. Now imagine what that would look like beside the Sussex story. Harry and Meghan arrived in California trying to prove they had entered the highest level of American celebrity. Taylor would arrive already sitting at that level. She would not need a reinvention.
They will also not be showing up at any parties that the Sussexes are at. And by that, I mean the Kelseys will not be hanging out at parties. I mean, if they were, you and I both know that somebody with her selfie stick would run up to Taylor and be like, just a quick one, click, and then post it the next day. And that's not going to happen.
No, they are not going to allow themselves to be anywhere near.
She would not need a royal title. She would not need a new lifestyle brand to explain why she belonged there. She would simply be Taylor Swift. And meanwhile, the questions surrounding Harry and Meghan's mansion refuse to disappear. There has been repeated talk that the property could eventually be sold, or that the couple may be quietly assessing what interest exists around it. With ultra-expensive homes, a property does not always have to appear publicly on a website before conversations start happening behind the scenes.
Remember, Meghan, and this is when she was still big enough to attract some stars, was so desperate to get Taylor Swift on the Archetypes podcast. She wrote her that handwritten missive. And Taylor, when she makes a decision and she is loyal to someone, she sticks by it. But I think more than that, she was just so disgusted about why you would turn on your own blood relatives in the way that these two did. I mean, Taylor is very, very much a family woman through and through.
That is why the timing is so brutal. One superstar couple may be looking at moving into Montecito, while the future of the couple who made Montecito part of their entire post-royal identity is being questioned. For Harry and Meghan, that house was never just a house. It became a symbol of the life they said they wanted after leaving royal duties. The gardens, the chickens, the pool, the privacy, the streaming deals, the celebrity neighbors, the California freedom. It was all part of the same message. This was the new Sussex kingdom. But a kingdom can suddenly look a lot smaller when someone far more famous moves into the neighborhood.
Then, of course, she runs to Beyonce and goes backstage behind Beyonce in a couple months later. And you're just like, oh, okay. But, and where's Beyonce now? She's filing her nails in the corner, just trying to pretend she doesn't see Meghan.
And there is another reason Taylor's name makes this especially uncomfortable for Meghan. There is absolutely no reason to assume that living close to each other would suddenly make them friends. The history actually suggests the opposite. When Meghan was making her Spotify podcast Archetypes, Taylor was reportedly one of the guests she personally wanted. This was not described as some basic invitation sent by a producer. Meghan reportedly wrote Taylor a handwritten note asking her to appear.
Meghan attended a Taylor Swift concert and very desperately wanted to go backstage to say hello. And she was rebuffed with the note saying Taylor just rests her voice before every
And that so
concert.
isn't true. That so isn't true. Because if there's a celebrity that Taylor wants to look after, she will see them.
That was a very deliberate move. Meghan had already attracted recognizable names to the podcast. Serena Williams appeared. Mariah Carey appeared. Paris Hilton appeared. But Taylor represented another level of cultural power, and Meghan apparently wanted her badly enough to make the invitation personal. Taylor still declined. The refusal reportedly came through a representative. There was no public feud, no dramatic insult, no war between them. The answer was simply no. And sometimes that is more embarrassing than a public argument.
I think trying to link Prince Harry and Meghan Markle to Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift is ludicrous. I mean, Taylor and Travis have absolutely picked a side, right?
Meghan had global name recognition, a Duchess title, Spotify backing, and major press attention around the podcast. On paper, she had everything required to make a celebrity invitation look attractive. Taylor still did not come. That handwritten note matters because it shows Meghan was not treating Taylor like one more name on a booking list. She was making a special effort. It still went nowhere. Then came the Eras Tour. Meghan attended Taylor's Los Angeles show and was seen enjoying the concert. Nothing unusual about that. Millions of people wanted to be there.
I mean, it's so many things that are going wrong. And it's like the more they try to say or to put out there, the worse it is. It just seems like who are the people in her circle that are putting all of this out there? I mean, don't they know that we are on to her? Like, we get it. Nothing is working. Like, what has worked for them, Dan? What?
Well, of course.
Nothing.
But there was also reporting about an attempt to get backstage and say hello, and once again, there was no major Taylor and Meghan moment afterwards. The explanation was that Taylor protected her voice and rested before performances. That may have been exactly what happened. But the public image remained the same. Meghan was present in Taylor's world, yet Taylor never visibly stepped into Meghan's. And that contrast became even sharper, because Meghan was later linked to a very different backstage celebrity moment around Beyoncé.
It makes a lot of sense that, they're just trying to put it out there because I think a lot of people already know about it. I think it's been circulating for a while now. And yeah, clearly she is trying to get it out there that, things are improving with the home or whatever. Like, people may or may not be interested in it. I don't know. I just think, Meghan is in a world of hurt around a lot of things. And this is just another example of something that she's, trying to, get out of in terms of the debt that they're in, and they cannot afford that home.
She could move through glamorous spaces. She could attend the biggest tours. She could be around famous people. But the Taylor Swift friendship never appeared. And here is where it gets even more uncomfortable. When Taylor has wanted a public royal connection, she has had one, just not with Meghan. Taylor's history with Prince William goes back years. In 2013, William famously joined Taylor Swift and Jon Bon Jovi on stage at a charity event. It looked spontaneous and easy, long before the Sussex drama even existed. Then, in 2024, William took Prince George and Princess Charlotte to Taylor's Eras Tour in London.
Considering real estate in Montecito, I mean, it is clearly nothing to do with Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. These two are out and out now on Team Prince William and Catherine.
They went backstage. They met Taylor. Travis was there too. Photographs were released. Everyone was smiling, and the entire interaction looked warm and completely natural. There was no desperate attempt to prove access. The access was already there. And this year, Taylor and Travis reportedly met privately with William and Catherine in London ahead of Taylor and Travis's wedding. That takes the connection far beyond one concert photo. It suggests a level of familiarity that cannot be explained away as a quick backstage courtesy. William and Catherine were not simply two more famous faces passing through a concert.
Meghan Markle is trying to sell the house, but do so on the quiet. Like, she can't just put it on the market because imagine.
The relationship appears to have continued beyond that one highly photographed evening, which makes the contrast with Meghan even harder to miss. So think about the irony if Taylor and Travis actually end up buying in Montecito. Meghan could have Taylor Swift living practically down the street, while Taylor's warmer royal relationship remains with William and Catherine thousands of miles away. The problem would not be distance. The problem would be access. Montecito is full of wealthy and famous people. But sharing a zip code does not mean sharing a social life. It does not guarantee dinners, parties, invitations, or friendly photographs.
Back and forth, spending time away from your family, that tells me there's a problem in the marriage. Because if your wife is not trying to do these things with you, then you two have agreed that I'm going to split my time in the UK and I'm going to be here in America when I need to be, but really I'm going to be in the UK getting my foot back into my royal role. Now that's what it sounds like to me. And watch it start to happen. Watch.
And it certainly does not mean Taylor suddenly appears in Meghan's lifestyle world simply because their gates happen to be a few minutes apart. That is why this property story is more than celebrity real estate gossip. Taylor represents exactly the kind of elite American validation Meghan has been chasing since moving to California. Yet Taylor's most visible royal connection is not Meghan, it is the Wales family. And while that awkward comparison is developing in California, Harry appears to be looking in the opposite direction entirely, because Harry is now reportedly planning to return to Britain every few months over the next year.
Now, it is not what you think, but it is what you think, if you know what I mean.
Not one rushed visit, not one isolated appearance, regular trips. That is a very different pattern. The plan reportedly includes another visit in September for roughly a week, along with more face-to-face involvement in the British organizations Harry has supported for years. That includes Well Child and other causes connected to his life long before Montecito. And after his recent time with King Charles, Harry was described as energized by the reunion. That word tells you a lot. Energized.
Harry being in America makes absolutely no sense. The man is a prince from the United Kingdom. What's this bud doing over here in America playing Disneyland? I've always said this, people. He's got no value in America as a prince.
For years, the public story was that California represented freedom, while Britain represented pressure, restriction, and conflict. Harry and Meghan left, built a life thousands of miles away, and presented Montecito as the answer. Yet now Harry appears to be creating a routine that keeps pulling him back across the Atlantic. That does not mean Buckingham Palace has restored him as a working royal. There is no official announcement saying Harry is returning to duties.
According to the Times, Harry now wants to visit the United Kingdom every few months. Now, the official explanation is perfectly respectable because he wants to see his family more often and provide greater support to Britain charities.
There is no confirmed half-in, half-out arrangement waiting for him. But that may be exactly why regular visits are so interesting. A formal comeback would be explosive. A gradual return is much easier. It can happen without forcing the palace to make some enormous public decision. Harry can simply keep showing up for the parts of Britain that still matter to him. Family, charities, old connections, and the public role he already knows how to perform. Each visit makes the next one feel less dramatic.
Frequent visits would achieve much more than a few charity meetings. It would. They would allow Harry to rebuild his public profile in Britain, repair damaged family relationships, and slowly reinsert himself into royal life without ever having to announce a formal comeback.
One trip, one charity appearance, one private family meeting, then another trip a few months later. Eventually, something that once looked extraordinary can start to look normal. Harry does not have to walk onto a palace balcony tomorrow for the image around him to change. He does not need a dramatic press release saying he is back. If he is repeatedly seen in Britain, supporting respected charities, reconnecting with family, and spending time with his father, the public picture slowly shifts. He stops looking like the prince who permanently walked away and starts looking like the prince who is simply around more often again.
Because after years of interviews, accusations, court battles, and a lot of public criticism of the royal institution, walking straight back through the palace gates would be almost impossible because we've been watching and following this whole thing. The public backlash would be immediate.
That would be a remarkable reversal from 2020. When Harry and Meghan first stepped back, they wanted more freedom while still keeping a connection to royal life. Their proposed model involved financial independence and splitting time, but the final arrangement did not give them the hybrid role they had hoped for. Queen Elizabeth rejected the idea that they could commercially build an independent life while dropping back into official royal duties whenever convenient. The line was supposed to be clear. The working royals remained inside the institution. Harry and Meghan left to build something separate.
But returning quietly, every few months attending respected charity events, being photographed supporting sick children and wounded veterans, spending private time with the king, just the king, I mean, like the top of the echelon right now, that is a much easier image to sell.
But 6 years later, that line becomes harder to describe if Harry is living in California while repeatedly flying back to Britain, rebuilding family relationships, and strengthening his public presence through longtime British causes. He may never receive an official half-in, half-out role, but could he quietly create a softer version of one? California remains home, but Britain becomes a regular part of his calendar. He is not a working royal, but royal identity once again becomes central to how the public sees him.
We've seen him go back for the Invictus Games, for Birmingham. Now we're going to see him go back in September, where he's going to be staying at Buckingham Palace. They're doing all these little short stints to try to get the public used to seeing Harry back as a working royal within the fold of royalty. They're not being slick. We see what they're doing, okay?
He is not officially back inside the institution, but he rebuilds contact with the king. No announcement, no grand surrender, just a slow return of the royal Harry people already recognize. And that raises the question Meghan may not enjoy. Where exactly does she fit into this British chapter? So far, the reported return pattern is about Harry.
Going to start seeing him show up to more family events. Like Harry will be there without Meghan. So he's trying to integrate slowly back into the royal family and spending less time in California, but still saying officially he's in California.
There is no clear sign that Meghan plans to copy the same schedule and start rebuilding her own life in Britain beside him. That does not prove a separation. It does not prove a divorce, but visually, it creates something very different from the United California escape story they once sold. Harry appears to be looking east. Meghan's brand, business projects, and social ambitions remain anchored in California.
We've seen him go back for the Invictus Games, for Birmingham. Now we're going to see him go back in September, where he's going to be staying at Buckingham Palace. They're doing all these little short stints to try to get the public used to seeing Harry back as a working royal within the fold of royalty. They're not being slick. We see what they're doing, okay?
And that matters, because the more time Harry spends in Britain, the less obvious Montecito becomes as the unquestioned center of his identity. It can still be his home. His family can still be there. But Harry's status has always carried a different weight in Britain. In America, he is the famous prince who moved to California. In Britain, he is the king's son, the brother of the future king, and a man whose entire public history is tied to the monarchy.
That's not what Meghan is looking to do. I think at some point she may have to do it because Hollywood has given up on her. She doesn't have enough talent. She doesn't have enough je ne sais quoi to make it work in California. She just doesn't.
California gave him distance from that identity. Britain gives it back. And after years spent trying to create a completely separate Sussex universe, Harry may be realizing that the royal connection was never something he could simply leave behind. It was also the reason the world cared so intensely about every move he made in the first place.
California may offer a lot of freedom, access to A-listers when they're willing, which is less so now, different commercial opportunities. But Britain is where his royal identity carries the greatest weight.
Before we continue, I want to mention something really quick. Organizing your family's important information is one of those things most of us know we should do, but we keep putting it off. That's exactly why there's the Family Vault. It gives you one place to organize your important documents, insurance, medical information, passwords, and more, so everything is easy to find when it's needed. You'll find the link in the description, or you can scan the QR code on your screen. That's all. Now, let's get back to today's story.
It's looking more like Harry's goal and less of Meghan's goal. That could change, but I'm not so sure it will.
That is why the Montecito timing is so fascinating. On one side, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are reportedly considering the neighborhood as newlyweds building their future together. Taylor arrives with enormous fame, established relationships, and an easy history with William and Catherine. She does not need Montecito to prove she matters. Montecito would simply be another place that fits the life she already has. On the other side are Harry and Meghan.
A change without official announcements, but I'm going to be doing more and more with my royal family. That's what he's looking to do. Trying to be slick about it, because that's what the royal family does.
Their mansion became the ultimate monument to the decision to walk away from royal life. Yet questions about that home keep resurfacing, while Harry reportedly plans to spend more and more time back in Britain. That is the real Montecito showdown. Nobody needs to be screaming across a hedge. Taylor is not trying to steal Meghan's neighborhood. The drama is in the comparison. Taylor and Travis may be moving toward Montecito just as Harry appears to be moving emotionally and professionally back toward Britain. And Meghan is left sitting in the middle of an incredibly awkward picture.
So Harry has left. He's leaving California to be more of a working royal. He hasn't completely left California, but that is what he is looking to do more often.
The superstar she once personally tried to bring into her podcast world could become her neighbor. That same superstar appears to have built an easier, warmer, royal connection with William and his family. And Meghan's own husband is reportedly preparing to spend more time around the country and the institutions they once walked away from. So, what does Montecito represent now?
Give him a little bit more room and access to being within the royal fold, slowly but surely. And then before you know it, he's like back pretty much as a working royal.
Is it still the permanent Sussex headquarters? Is it Meghan's California fortress? Or has it become an incredibly expensive reminder of a chapter that no longer looks nearly as triumphant as it once did? Because the direction of the story has completely flipped. Harry and Meghan once left Britain and looked toward California. Now Taylor Swift may be looking toward Montecito, while Harry keeps looking back toward Britain. And that reversal may be the most uncomfortable part of all.